Welcome back. One downtown antique shop is closing its doors after 14 years in business. Feather Your Nest has decided to close shop. They will remain open until early December with discounted prices up until doors close. MTN's Anissa Kumar met up with the owners and has more on their decision.
After 14 years in the Great Falls community, locally owned antique store Feather Your Nest will be closing its doors next month, and the historic building has been sold to new owners. Through 14 years and 3 location changes, Feather Your Nest has offered a comfortable and inviting atmosphere to downtown Great Falls shoppers.
We wanted people to feel at home, and we wanted it to be, I think when we very first started, our sign said something like fun, friendly, and affordable.
Owner Candy Zanto says she came up with the name Feather Your Nest while observing how birds make their nests unique.
There might be like a little bit of tinsel or a little strip from a cigarette wrapper or something woven into the nest. You know, why? Not because there's a shortage of twigs and grass, but just because I think, this is my opinion, but I think it made their nests more interesting to them.
The store features all kinds of antiques, trinkets, furniture, jewelry, and more for visitors to pick up and feather their own nests.
I've always loved antiques, but I've always loved to mix them with new things and vintage things, and I just think it makes your home more interesting if you've got something from kind of all eras.
Zanto has made the decision to retire and spend more of her time with her young grandsons. She sold the historic building to some of her friends, and while plans for the building are uncertain, Zanto is confident they will do something exciting with the space. She encourages members of the community to continue to shop at locally owned businesses in the era of online shopping.
But it's probably more important than ever if small businesses are going to thrive in this era. I've noticed a difference every year in 14 years. It's not always possible to shop local, but the more we do it, the more local shopping we'll have.
Everything in the store will be 50% off until its closure in mid-December, ending with a 2-day sale where all proceeds will go towards the downtown Great Falls Rescue Mission. In Great Falls, Anissa Kumar, MTN News.
With the presidential election decided, we look ahead at what to expect from the transition over the next 2 months. Scripps News national correspondent Stephanie Liebergen takes a look back into history to find out how the tradition we use today got its start.
The peaceful transfer of power is a hallmark of American democracy.
So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
Linda McMahon and Howard Lutnick are spearheading the transition for the incoming Trump administration, and they've already been working on the process for months. President-elect Trump's team will be focused on helping him fill out his cabinet and prepare potential executive orders that he could sign on day one. There are more than 4,000 presidentially appointed positions across the federal government, and over 1,200 of them require Senate confirmation. Some lower-level appointees might remain when the new administration begins, but high-level positions like cabinet secretaries traditionally resign. Since Vice President Kamala Harris has conceded, Trump's transition team can have access to federal funding, office space, IT help, and other services needed to set the stage for the new administration. President Biden has committed to ensuring there is a smooth transition next year.
The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails.
Historians credit the nation's second president, John Adams, for establishing the tradition we use today. Adams was the first president to live in the White House, and after losing in a very close election in 1800, he chose to leave the morning of his successor's inauguration. Since the 1930s, noon on January 20th has officially marked the beginning of a new administration. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News, Washington.